going on YouTube? Carfi King here. So today, guys, I just wanted to give a non-sleepy, more proper, just recap of the Otakon regionals and my experience there. We ended up getting 17th place. We were like 0.4% away from making top 16, but we just bubbled out. We already have our invite, but I pay my $30 just like everybody else. I want to win these things, and I want to do it with Beelstar. It's my favorite. It's my favorite deck in the game. Purple all day, every day, but Bills is my favorite deck in the game, and every time I step, onto the field with Beelstar, I want to do well and learn and improve in every matchup. So, I really enjoyed Beelstar this format. There are a few changes to the deck that I wanted to make that I noticed throughout playing in the regionals with Beelstar. But overall, I had a very good day. Had a lot of clutch plays. Honestly, the deck did not disappoint me. And I really enjoyed it. And I think that, Beelstar is a deck I think a lot of people should, reconsider picking up for the BT9 format, just because I think it's really good into a lot of what the current meta is. I just wanted to just guys go into my matchups a little bit. Round one, I played against the Mirror, and the big flag you'll see here is Ghazimon was more or less my MVP majority of the day. Against the Mirror, again, a lot of my opponents are just really cool people. I really just enjoyed talking with them as well. But round one, basically both games, Ghazimon stopped the double missed memory boost, and that pretty much won me the game because I was able to do a lot more choke plays. Especially if he wasn't able to get like a memory tamer out, just the memory boost, and just leaving Ghazimon on the field until like the final attack was extremely potent in both. But it was a situation where my scatter modes were dying, and he hit like analog youth and some other things out of my security where his scatter mode really kind of was not dying as well. So in that regard, it was a little bit more in my favor that way. But Ghazimon really stopped any play extensions that my opponent would have had throughout both of our games. Round two, I played against Alphamon. Again, my strategy versus Alphamon is to establish double Ghazimon and hopefully be able to get a blue tamer out onto the field. But the game I 2-0'd it, and basically both games, and that's why I played 4 Ghazimon. I would hard play Ghazimon, try to get 2 on the board, and then play around them. I would leave them up on the board because obviously I'm not going to, I can't stop them from coming out of raising and doing the Dex Doruga stuff, especially if they got a bunch of cool boys and whatnot set up. And that's just kind of the theme for the Alpha matchups. It's just that once they get their tamers on the board, their tamers really dictate the entire pace of the game and make the matchup against any deck that Alphamon faces, makes that matchup 10 times harder for the opponent because of how strong they utilize Cool Boy and Yuji and whatnot. So, but the double Ghazimon really kind of stops like whatever, their big climb into Oryukin, and that really helped me in that regard. So I was able to win both matchups by just playing around, keeping double Ghazi up on the board and doing that. Then round three, played against Armor. Armor, extremely hard matchup. Game one, I got wrecked by Merciful Mode. Magna X, I did not establish a blue source. I could not bounce it back. But then the last 2 games, I was able to get a blue source down. My scatter modes were definitely dying. My opponent bricked pretty badly in game 2, and so I got a little bit more memory than I originally would have. But it's definitely not an easy matchup. And then game three was a really sweaty back and forth match, but I ended up dropping a Death Xmon, putting him to 9k, but I wiped his board, and he had nothing but armors in his hands, no more rookies. And I already had an established board, and the Death Xmon was able to just because I guess all he could do was play out the armors, but it would destroy the lowest play cost. And I think Flame Dramon and Liedramon were both 5 play costs. So Death Exmon and Ghazimon kind of helped me win the game because Ghazimon stopped any of the memory boost extensions as well. But great player, really hard matchup. I love his list. And it was awesome. Then played another alpha round 4. Round 4, again, same strategy as before, except my opponent then he kind of raised out of raising a little bit too early without having the full line, and I was able to use Beelstar and my other option cards to punish it. And then once I punished it, he had to restart the rebuild. I was able to more easily get the double Ghazi setup. I actually had triple Ghazi, and that was kind of the theme of both games where he did do a lot of searching and whatnot, but he did kind of raise out a little bit early, and I was able to punish. And then I think game 1 it was scary, but he made a misplay where he went into Oryukin for 3. He did pop 1 Ghazi, but I guess he forgot that I had another Ghazimon on the field. And he could not use Oryukin's ability to gain back the memory with his end of turn ability, which then let me go into a Beelstar to Kosai's Breath his Oryukin back to his hand and then take control of the matchup there. And then I guess game 2 he just like super break, but the double Ghazi just really helped out a lot. Then War Great X, it was against my boy Lance Guillotine Gaming. Very tough 3 games. War Great X has the Greymon X Antibody inheritables that really hurt what Beelstar wants to do as far as board removal is concerned. In that matchup you kind of want to Howling Crusher it, but you just or just find a way to break it down. And he beat me game 1. Game 2 I was able to climb back and win that one. Again, tough matchup. I don't think he got to his level 6 in time for that. And then game 3 was just extremely back and forth. He had like an Omnimon X Antibody with like triple protection, and I had to loop Beelstar 3 times in one turn because she was playing for 1 cost. And I had 2 Call of Darknesses just to keep Happy Bullet showering his Omnimon X Antibody down to where then I can finally remove it from the board after getting rid of all the X Antibody type of protection that it had. And then once I was able to get rid of that, I was able to then, just keep Beelstar on the board, swing out, and then drop another Beelstar, grab Promote, and swing for game. It was just a really tough, hard matchup, but we found a way to win it, and found a way to win it. And then round 6 is we lost to Alphamon. Again, game one was a bit rough for me. Wasn't able to maintain the Ghazimons on board as I could, and then I just got kind of OTK. My security wasn't really there. Game 2, I was able to establish the Ghazimons and kind of shut down the Oryukin play. But then game 3 was just really rough. A lot of back and forth going on. And I just wasn't able to keep, because he did pop the Ghazimon, but I didn't have, I could not find Nailbone that game, or like a third copy of Ghazimon just to get it to the board. And it just came down to where I got rid of or I had to choose between putting out Ghazimon on board and just losing, or getting rid of Oryukin and his Dorumon with the Death X, and just praying he didn't have Grumble for game, because he was at the last card in his deck anyways. But he ended up having Grumble for game, so Swing Rookie, then Swing Rookie hit a security, then Grumble for game. And if that security was a Nailbone, I could have put out a blocker to block his Grumble for game, but it wasn't. So I ended up losing that one to close game 3. Then played against one of our boys, 10 from one of our locals here. Just good set, got the homie win. Wanted me to continue on, so then so not much to say about that. and then against Alphamon in round 8. Again, it was another back and forth. Double Ghazi game. I lost game 1 due to Grademon. I had the double Ghazi set up, but he put Grademon into the stack and after popping it with Dex Doragray, he went into Alphamon, put Grademon in the stack, swung Alphamon with the X antibody option, went into Oryukin, popped my Beelstar, and then he had Grademon end of the battle, popped the Ghazimon, then Oryukin's end of turn effect. They had the whole restand and then that. So just the Grademon pretty much won him that game. And then game 3, again, it was another back and forth, but I started off extremely slow, opening up with too many options, not enough discard targets. I did not see scatter mode that entire game, and but we were able to recover. We were able to pressure a bit. It's just that I could not get to a second copy of Ghazimon in time. I saw one copy of Ghazimon. The rest were kind of, shuffle, I guess just towards the bottom of the deck, I guess. And I didn't see a second Ghazimon to stop his, stop his Oryukin climb. And even though we did, hit like a Howling Crusher insecurity to kind of like shut it down, again, it just came to the play where that, he was already building in the back, and I used the turn to clear his board, but all he needed, was a Dex Doragray to get rid of my Ghazimon, and he ended up having another copy of Dex Doragray. Because I chose, like, hey, look, I can extend the game by either saving my board or by getting rid of his board, and I decided to get rid of his board, keep my one Ghazi on the field, and chance the fact that if he didn't have this card, I win. If he did have it, then he wins, and he did have it, so he was able to take the game. But I felt like that was the best situation, because it was kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't situation there. But I thought I chose the best one, where I would probably have a possibly higher percentage chance of coming out with the win, instead of giving him an extra attack and then having to rely on my security, my last check in security to do something. So that's pretty much it. We ended up like we were like 15th place at the end of it, but then after the last results came in, we ended up in 17th place by like 0.4%. We just barely bubbled out. But that's pretty much how my rounds went. Again, we got a top 32 with Beelstar. Almost made it to day 2. But it's okay. I got a lot of things. There's a lot of things I still want to test in the deck. Some things I want to improve. As far as what I saw, Ghazimon X Antibody was very underwhelming for me. So I'm going to change that. But I'm going to also just make a strategy video on Ghazimon and why Ghazimon is probably the most important card for Beelstar for the rest of this format. It literally won me the majority of my games on Saturday, and I just think it has to be a 4 of. It's just that strong. Ghazimon X Antibody, and it's a good card, but again, in a high level competition, especially when you're going to be playing against a lot of Alphamons, the Ghazimon X Antibody is kind of feels like a waste of a slot, and I felt like I could have used something else, to improve a lot of my situations against probably our hardest matchup, not named Wargray X, basically. All right, but that's the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for just joining me for just sitting down talking about it, and yeah, I'll see you later. Peace out.